So it's so great, Nick, that you decided to join our jolly family today.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, and it's especially we are especially lucky because I think your fragrances are really suitable for spring and summer.
Yeah.
I don't know any perfume in your collection that would be musky and not heavy, but how would you say, with a lot of body.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
spices. Even Istanbul is not really an sweet oriental fragrance. It's really light.
Yeah.
So,
I think.
yeah. So the stars were. It's been decided on in heavens. All this, I suppose.
I think I like something I always really admire in other people is the kind of lightness of being. And I always wish I was a bit more like that. So maybe in my perfumes, I'm trying to accentuate that sort of lightness, that light-hearted thing.
Yes, for those who have just joined, here for you, Nick Stewart from Gallivant Perfumes, Gallivant Stories, and this is one of the...
I'm jealous, Olga. I want the bottle. I'm jealous.
I always have them, you know that. So I've got Istanbul here.
It's okay. I've got Istanbul here as well.
Mine is bigger.
You win.
Which for some people is a kind of, because like Olga was saying, it's, you know, I don't really like the word oriental. I prefer to say warm, balmy, balsamic. But yes, it's got a
vanilla
sort of oriental structure.
Well,
and some people say that's their like autumn winter fragrance, but I'm going to say I wear it all year round. It's very aromatic.
It is vanilla, quite lovely, warm vanilla, sandalwood. It's nice. I love it. And Olga knows I love gourmand fragrances, sweet fragrances. So this is so me.
Okay.
This is nice, and I love Turkey. So Istanbul, yes.
Okay, so that gets a vote. Yeah.
Nick, what was your first fragrance of the collection?
So we launched in 2017. We had 4 then.
Oh, so very new.
Yeah, we've only been going 3 years. So we're a little baby brand.
Oh, looking forward to support.
But you're already in Fortnum and Mason's.
Yeah, and I'm sold at Fortnum and Mason here in London, so that's great. And that's where Olga and I met. So that was a chance meeting, which is very Gallivant.
I'm trying to do heart. Does it look like a heart? No.
It does. Yeah, it's a good shape.
Like this.
Yeah. So when I launched, I had 4. I had Brooklyn, Istanbul, London, and Tel Aviv.
Ah, okay.
London was the first formula that we finished.
Wow.
So we spent 2 years working on the formulas.
Wow.
Which I don't know how much you all know about the development timings, but 2 years is kind of slow. But, you know, I didn't want to rush it.
Yeah.
So I think life is good when it's in the slow lane.
Well, I know that I've got London here, and I found it really, really interesting because my favorite note is rose.
Yeah.
So give me anything with rose, I will take it.
Okay.
So this is the secret. You can buy me with a rose.
Okay, I'll remember that.
All the secrets if you give me anything with a rose.
Okay.
So, but I found it really, really interesting because it's not a rosy rose. It's not a girly rose. It's so unusual. And I know there is a story behind it.
Yeah. Shall I give you the backstory a little?
Yes, please.
So I work, probably some of you may know her by reputation. She's called Karine Chevalier, and she's the perfumer I work with a lot. She and I have been friends for a long time because I used to work for L'Artisan Parfumeur in France, and
Wow.
Karen had done some work for us. And we just got on. She's very funny. She's got a great sense of humor, a great spirit. So I really wanted her to do the London perfume, but I found it really difficult to explain to her as a Parisian what I meant by this grittiness that I think is a part of London. So I was on the phone to her. I was in London. She was in Paris. And I said to her, listen to the Pet Shop Boys song, West End Girls, so East End Boys, West End Girls. And that was kind of the musical click for the fragrance.
Wow.
So it's really glamorous. Olga, maybe that's why you like roses, that sort of glamorous femininity. But I also...
Like I am, glamorous and feminine.
You are. But I want all of my fragrances to be unisex, because, I want to wear them as well.
Of course.
So I think it's a really novel rose, because it's got this rose de May from Grasse, which is very special. And then it's got this leathery patchouli wetness, and this cucumber note in the beginning.
Oh, wow, that's so interesting. Cucumber note.
Yeah, I like to use a mix of sort of, let's say, noble materials, like the Rose de May. Sometimes mix them with notes that are more everyday, like a cucumber.
Yes, and we all love fresh cucumber.
I love to chop it and put it in water as a drink. So yeah, I think the London fragrance is kind of pretty original. You might know.
I did say I had the samples. I've just realized it's the London which I don't have. So
really?
I've got, yes. So there's 2 Istanbul and whatever. I've got Amsterdam, Los Angeles, Tokyo, and we've got Berlin, Brooklyn, and Tel Aviv.
Okay.
I do not have the London one. So carry on. I just thought I mentioned that. I'm not saying anything because I'm not sure what it is. So yes.
But Olga's right. It's unashamedly a rose perfume.
Thank you.
Unmistakably.
Thank you.
When I first tried it, sorry? Okay, if anybody wants to ask a question, I think there is an option to raise a hand or just type your message and I will unmute you. Or I suppose you can unmute yourselves as well. So everybody is welcome to participate and ask questions. So when I first tried your rose, it looked like a rose picked up from the dirt, not from the dirt, because it smelled more like soil.
Yeah.
Earthy.
Yeah.
Earthy.
Yes.
You probably all know this geosmin, petrichor, associated with sort of earth after rainfall. So there's a kind of reference to that for sure, which is one of the reasons I really love patchouli a lot, because again it has that sort of connotation, that aspect to it. So I think London often is, people tell me, it's a really beautiful springtime fragrance. They really feel that wetness, that lushness.
And green, something like green note in it.
Yeah. I mean, it isn't one of the, let's say, the positives of this lockdown. We're all appreciating the spring nature.
Yes.
Seeing the blossom, we're seeing the greenness. And that's kind of in the London perfume, I think. It feels very lush and full-bodied. But like you said, Olga, quite gritty underneath.
Yeah.
I look forward to sampling it. I look forward to it.
That's what makes it so unusual, really special. Mia, you tried more perfumes from the collection. What would you wear for spring?
Oh, I quite liked Tel Aviv. To be honest, at the time when I wanted to try them, I didn't give them a full proper wear, and this is why I haven't reviewed them yet, because I didn't wear them properly enough for me to say so much about them. I literally just sprayed them to smell. I love. Oh, oh,
No, this is not Tel Aviv. This is Istanbul.
Okay.
that is just showing off.
I am.
I know
That is just showing off.
I know she's got a small collection of Gallivant, so I'm very happy about that.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is nice. So
So who's smelling Tel Aviv now?
I did, yeah.
What was the inspiration behind Tel Aviv? Because I've never been there, so I don't know how it smells at all.
So I'll tell you, I don't know if you can see the words on the bottle, but
yes,
yeah.
Aviv in Hebrew means spring.
Ah, I didn't know that.
So Tel Aviv in Hebrew means like spring hill.
All right.
So a beach city on the Mediterranean, sort of white Bauhaus architecture, sun-kissed skin, and lots of flowers. So often people have balconies in these Bauhaus buildings and they grow flowers in pots and pans.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously jasmine grows in that part of the world.
Yes.
Whether it's in Baghdad or Damascus or Tel Aviv, you always smell jasmine.
Hello, Anjan. So nice to see you.
Hello.
Anjan.
So when I'm briefing perfume,
sorry, I will just mute somebody. Well, as some people are speaking, some people are Russians. Joined us are Russian, so I
can see Nina.
They are already drinking prosecco. I think it's
lucky them.
Mm-hmm.
Great tendency. We all would need some prosecco at the moment.
We need to get through lockdown somehow.
Absolutely. Can I just ask? So these fragrances, is it that you created them with these places in mind because you've been, is it all the places you've been and that's how the story came about?
Exactly, yeah. I wanted to do a sort of little celebration of places I love going to, that I feel connected to. And not always in a really obvious way, you know, I don't sort of select the materials based on the destination. I'm trying to, I would say, recreate a memory.
A memory, that's lovely. That's lovely. This is really nice, and it just reminded me of a fragrance I have, and this is a fragrance from the house of Algabra, which are also a Turkish house. And obviously their perfumes as well is based on the cities, and that's based on the city of Old Damascus. So it's quite interesting for me to think that these fragrances, they've made them exactly like almost in a similar vein. I think it's because that's what the place is. You get this warmth, like people baking, freshly baked in like a bakery, nice warm gourmand scents of vanillas, you know. It's really lovely. I love it. I love it. I'm not saying it's the same, just it's got that warm vibe.
Okay.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Really nice, which I love, by the way.
Good.
I love. I'm going back to Istanbul now, so it's really nice.
By the way, do you have bigger sizes than 30 ml?
Not yet.
Why did you decide for 30?
Good question. I think, first of all, because the brand is about being out in the world and travel, I wanted a travel-friendly size. Second of all, I feel like, you know what, we've all got a lot of stuff in our lives, and maybe sometimes less is more.
That's it.
Sometimes, you know, if I go back to sort of 2015 when I left my job at L'Artisan Parfumeur, I had over 300 fragrances.
Wow.
And really, the idea of bringing them all back to London, even just physically, wasn't very appealing to me. The sheer, like, so much stuff. So I kind of wanted to do with them. Sorry?
What did you do with them?
I gave a lot of them away to people who I knew would enjoy wearing them.
I do that all the time, and still things don't seem to change. It's the same with clothes and bags. I'm always getting rid of stuff, but somehow there's still more stuff. And so now I've told myself what I'll be doing before I buy a new bag, a new pair of shoes, a new perfume. I have to give one away.
Okay, so one in, one out. That's a good
system. I've said that to myself. I don't know how strict I'm gonna be with myself, because sometimes it's easier said than done.
Mia, I'll remind you that was the rule: one in, one out.
Yeah, I think I need to do that, because I'll run out of room.
So I think, for me, this idea of having a small bottle that people really use it, that was important to me.
And this is exactly, Olga, what I said in my last video. I said I'm now consciously thinking about what I buy, and I think I don't want to have too many large bottles. I think now I'll keep it to small things like that. Maybe a 30 ml or 50 ml, but if I can help it, I'm not going to be buying 100 mils. Maybe I'll be buying small things like this, because I realize I will never wear all the fragrances anyway.
It's true.
I don't think I will. Even if I wanted to, I don't think I will. So,
I think for people, perfume lovers, people in the fragrance community who do have a lot of perfumes, I think it's sensible to have smaller bottles.
Exactly. I think so.
Or even an oil.
That's it.
Thank you, Olga.
This is even smaller. This is 10 ml.
Wow.
Look at this.
So I just launched these a few months ago.
Look at that.
You do have?
So where will be?
Is it Gallivant? No.
I wish.
Mia, which one did you have there? I didn't see it. Sorry.
No, that was a Byron Man.
Okay.
I'm just saying that when if I can help it, I'll be buying even things like this.
Yeah.
Instead of a ginormous bottle. So
But that's an alcoholic formulation, right? They've done. It's a spray.
I believe so. It is. I believe so. I think it is.
Olga has very kindly done the product placement, because I've developed these pure perfume oils.
Oh wow!
So, Olga, do you want to show it again? My trusty assistant. Oh, yeah. So these are like roll-ons.
Yeah.
You put it on a pulse point, or you can put it in your hair. I really do use.
Oh, I want it.
And I do those in 4 fragrances, including Tel Aviv and London.
Oh wow!
But it's pure oil. It's not an alcoholic formulation.
How long does it last?
How long does it last on the skin?
Yes.
I would say, depending on the perfume, 6 to 8 hours. Yeah.
Okay.
6 to 8 hours. Yes.
But remember, you probably know already, but the projection that we feel is through the alcohol. So with a pure oil, you don't get the same sillage, you don't get the same projection. It's much closer on the skin.
It's more closer to the skin. But they last forever.
But you can wear that layering with the eau de parfum, or you can wear it on its own. It's really up to you.
So this is for a dinner for 2. Exactly. So you need to be close to a person to.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is date night, close encounters.
It is. Yeah.
Absolutely.
But it's really lovely as well, because I did a very nice sort of nourishing formulation. It's lovely and silky, and it's really lovely on the skin. You put it on your elbows, for example, and it really sort of hydrates the skin. It's very nice, as well as the perfume.
Can I ask you a forbidden question? What is your favorite perfume in your collection?
Olga.
Yes, I know. I shouldn't have, but
what do I wear a lot? I suppose. Well, I wear all of them, because I really wouldn't launch a perfume if I didn't feel really proud of it. I wear different things on different occasions. I mean, I wear Brooklyn. Strangely, I wear Brooklyn a lot in the winter. I don't know if you've smelt Brooklyn, but it's very...
I'm going to smell it now, just spraying it.
Yeah.
Nice sprayers as
what
well.
do you think? So we'll be waiting for...
Yeah, I think Mia should react and tell us what she...
It's actually fresh. Quite fresh.
Very fresh citrus.
Very fresh citrus in bergamot.
Yeah.
Is that lime or mandarin? I can't tell. It's quite nice. I would wear this now.
Yeah,
I would wear it now. I would wear it now. Fresh citrusy. Oh, I love that.
Very fizzy.
But I can understand the connection with winter because there are mandarins. Mandarins were used, so it's a winter fruit.
Yes.
They were always they were used on the Christmas trees.
Christmas trees, yes.
But I think I wear it in winter as well because it's it puts a smile on my face when I spray.
Yes.
It's something really. A lot of people tell me it reminds them of like fizzy drinks from childhood, like Coca-Cola. People tell me that a lot. What I got on initial spray was, you know, like the sweets. You know the sweets when you put them on the tongue and they melt, and that fizziness, that's what I got on initial spray. Yeah. I can see what you mean. So it's got that like childlike quality to it.
Yes.
It's quite gourmand as well. It's quite sort of creamy, sort of big magnolia note in the heart.
Wow. Has it got any coriander or anything? Coriander?
Quite a lot of cardamom.
Cardamom.
Yeah, that's bringing the spiciness to it.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
What's the most, sorry?
Nice.
It's like it's like taking the idea of a cologne and it's like twisting it and making it more interesting, I'm going to say.
Angeline, come, unmute. Angeline, you need to unmute, then we can hear you.
Yeah.
I thought I was listening to you guys, and I thought if I unmute, then the sound quality is better. So when you're not speaking, you should unmute. But hello, guys. It's nice seeing you.
Because I've seen you had a question.
Yeah, I did actually.
It's lovely to see you.
Yeah, it's been a while, hasn't it?
I know. I hope when all this is over, we can meet up and smell things. And yes, I can't wait.
Go out for a coffee, you know, things like that. Which we took for granted. But it's nice to meet you all and see you all again. And nice to meet you, Nick.
You too.
Yeah, I'm Anjam, and I'm in this. I've been in the industry for only, I'd say, 3 years or so. And so I'm always taking interest in, you know, new fragrances, and I specifically do enjoy getting involved with niche fragrances as well, you know, because there's a lot more to it.
We all need your support, especially now.
Yes, I know, and your history is really interesting. The L'artisan Parfumer.
Yeah.
I'd like to know more about what you got up to when you were there, and it'd be really good to get some kind of insight on how you used to work, and you know, and what made you leave that post to do your own thing.
Yeah, I mean, I was very lucky because you know, I was like the creative director, really, but it's a small company, so it sounds like a grand title. But, you know, I did all sorts of things, designing the windows, all sorts of things that people don't imagine. But also developing all the products with the perfumers. Okay. So you probably all know Bertrand de Chauffour and his work. So his lab was literally in our office above the shop. Wow. So it was really very special. And I have such happy memories of my years there because we were like a really small team. Everyone was French apart from me. And they were just people who were so proud to work for L'Artisan Parfumeur because it's a reference in perfumery and has really been one of the first niche brands. So I feel very honoured that I got to work there.
Yeah.
and without doubt, it's influenced, I think, my own style. I loved Jean Laporte, the founder. He really had a very democratic idea about perfumery. That it could be, we had a customer who was the wife of the Prime Minister, and we had customers who came from, you know, the deepest provinces of France once a year to buy a bottle, and hopefully they felt as welcome as the kind of VIP people.
Right.
So, yeah, I think perfume, when it's done in a really democratic way, kind of, I find that very special. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you decided that it was time to do your own thing. And
yeah, I mean, it's funny because I started my career in the 1990s. I'm very old. Working for a company called PUIG, which is one of the big sort of conglomerates.
Did you say, sorry, I didn't hear the last.
They're called Pooch.
Yeah, Pooch, yes. So I heard that Artisan Perfumer got bought out by.
Yeah, so I'd worked for them in the 1990s.
Oh, wow.
And then they bought L'Artisan. So it was a little bit like a circle, maybe telling me, okay, now's the time.
Yeah.
And I'd always, I think, wanted to be my own boss.
Yes.
And have the freedom to sort of do my own thing. So yeah, I think that was the universe telling me, okay, this is the circle. Now do the next thing.
It's really good, really good. And
but I'm very grateful that I had all that experience before. You know, someone said to me once, "Do you not regret not doing it much earlier?" And I said, "No, not really, because I had such a good years working with all these amazing people.
Yeah.
And they taught me so much, so I'm very lucky."
Wow, interesting. That's amazing. That's a nice story, you know. So it's a journey, isn't it?
Yeah. I took my time, but you know, maybe that's the way to do things. Not everything has to be done in a rush.
Yeah.
I just wanted to ask, how long did it take you from the moment you thought, right, I'm gonna set up and start my own, to when the first fragrance was released? Because I know it took 2 years for the fragrance to be launched from when they were made, but how long had you been planning before they were actually?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think there's no simple answer in a way. I think I'd been planning it for 20 years.
Oh, wow.
I kept like, you know, I'm very analog. I keep bits of paper and I take things and I file it. And I think lots of those things, when I look back at it, actually are now present in Gallivant. The name I had actually found, I love the word, you know, to go around in pursuit of pleasure. And I'd actually I'd done the trademark work for that years in advance. So maybe I was always
thinking about
it. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you for sharing with us.
It was a long gestation period.
I totally understand. Yeah.
Sometimes I don't think you're even conscious. It's like a very good friend of mine who's known me a long time, and now she works with me, helping me on Gallivant. And when we moved studios recently, she was trying to, you know, sort stuff out, and I've got to get rid of stuff, you know. And like we were looking at old things, and she was saying, "Oh, look at this! This you kept this from 10 years ago, and this we use this now." Wow. So yeah, I think a lot of things were in the background for a long time.
Okay. So just about coping with the lockdown, are you finding that now that maybe the shop, if you have a shop, is not open, or people are not going out as much, or yourself, you don't need to go out as much, are you finding like this time is the best time to be creative, getting inspired, or are you working on something?
I am working on things. I mean, I'm not going to lie, this is a tough time. I mean, I'm sold in about 70 shops around the world.
Oh, wow.
And all of them.
You need to come to Gatwick.
Okay.
You should come to Gatwick Airport.
Okay.
Yes, you need to look into that. Angeline, that is also your area of expertise. So
Travel retail.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
It's tough for us as business people. You know, all the stores are shut. I have no production now. That's shut. And obviously more and more it's difficult to even distribute and send orders to people. But we're all in the same boat, aren't we? And I think what's really lovely is there are so many of us sort of small little independent brands that we're really a support network to each other. And that's been a brilliant discovery for me. I never really imagined that.
To that end, I made a mental note to myself that all the purchases I'm going to be making, especially during this time, they are going to have to be personal businesses, majorly British owned as well, just to support local businesses, because I know especially like for small houses, it's not even everyone that's entitled to the help from the government, etc. So with that in mind, I've made a mental note. I'm going to be supporting smaller houses, niche houses, independent, you know, indie perfumers and stuff. So I look forward to getting into your fragrances too.
Thank you.
They are on the list. I've so far done, I think, 3 or 4 purchases that are British houses. So I should carry on with that for
Thank you for this.
however long I can.
Not just for my brand. I don't just for my brand. I mean all of us.
Yes. So,
so to answer the question about am I working on other things? Yeah, I'm always working on new ideas.
Great.
So I like to work on maybe 2 or 3 different perfumes
at the time.
There'll be different stages of development, of different stages of the formula. I think it's better for me and better for the perfumers, because if you work on one fragrance at a time, sometimes the pressure is different, because you're in a little bit of a one track. Whereas if I'm doing maybe 3 at a time, I'm a bit more patient and a bit more relaxed with them. There's less pressure on one thing, because all of them are moving in different ways at different speeds. So it's sort of easier in a different way. Yeah.
I'm curious.
I had something ready to launch this year. So we'll see. I don't know. I can't say yet whether it will happen this year or next year.
Oh well, all the best. I was going to ask, have you ever made a fragrance that you probably loved from the start, and then by the end of it, when it's matured, do you think, no, actually not? Has that ever happened to you?
Yeah, I mean, I did a fragrance for L'Artisan, which was called Deliria.
Yeah.
And that was with Bertrand. I don't remember which year it was, maybe 2011 or something like that. And it was really, you know, I love roller coasters, the thrill of being on a roller coaster. You know, in French, we call it a Russian mountain, Olga.
Of course, we call them American mountains.
So all the wrong way around. So it was a very sort of strange perfume in a way, inspired by the iron, the rubber, the metallic notes. And it was kind of a very fun niche thing, but it was quite weird. And now if I smell it, I sort of think it was like a one-off. It's not a fragrance that's maybe stood the test of time for me. So does that answer the question?
Yes, it does. Yes, I can relate to that. Okay. I do that with a lot of things. And then I think, oh no. Looking back, you cringe. But
I think the lesson for me into Gallivant is just to take my time.
Now I think I want to make a note of that fragrance so that I can look it up.
Okay.
Yes. If you don't mind, anyway, I'll go back to watch this and write it down, the name. So
yeah, Deliria.
Yeah.
Nick, you said you're in, is it 70 stores or 70 different?
Yeah, 70. Yeah, I sort of lose count.
I can, that's a good thing, losing count. Now,
Yeah.
which countries and which kind of markets have been more, I don't know, more successful for you, or more surprised you as well?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm going to come back to that. So I think the US has been a really great market. And I do want to say, you know, sometimes I know sometimes brands like focus on one customer or one region, and I don't know if this is like really naive, but I just didn't do that. I didn't kind of set out thinking who's my customer, because I kind of feel like human beings are my customers, and they come in all different shapes and sizes, and you can't tell what people like. Or assume that people like certain things because they live in certain regions. So I've never really gone after any particular regions or any particular customers in a way. So the US has been really great for us. You know, different bits of Europe. What's really strange to me in a way is I have very few retailers in the UK.
I think it's difficult for everybody.
I do. I mean, I was talking.
That though, we want more retailers in the UK. What would you want for Gallivant?
Sorry, do you mind saying the question again? I missed it.
What would you want for Gallivant in the sense of for UK specifically? And
I'd love if we had just more small independent retailers that worked with small independent brands.
You'd be happy to do that.
Yeah, I mean, you know, sometimes people say to me, "Oh, don't you want to be in X department store?"
Yeah.
And I don't know what to say sometimes. Sometimes you want to say, listen, do you know the reality of working with those department stores? I mean, it's really difficult for small brands. And if you're not careful, they'll bankrupt you. That's the reality.
Yeah.
With that in mind, now I go back to what I said before when I said you should come to Gatwick.
Okay.
Now I can understand why. Because just having your product out there is quite major, and especially at the airport, and a massive airport as Gatwick. So I can totally understand and relate to what you're saying.
I'd honestly love to be in travel retail, but again, it's one of those things that when you're a small independent brand, sometimes it's a bit like the cat playing with the mouse. The cat thinks they want to play and then they crush it. So I have to be a bit careful as well. Yeah.
Wow. Can I just ask, what is the best-selling fragrance from your line?
The best-selling fragrance in the last 12 months has been Los Angeles.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I launched...
My heart again, my weird heart again. One of my favorites.
I know. And you take lots of lovely pictures of it, so thank you for that.
I did.
So Los Angeles I launched last summer.
Oh, this is, wow.
Yeah, people seem to really love it. Yeah.
This is really nice. Oh,
so that started...
That sweetness.
Nick, you have to spray down, so you spray it on Mia.
Okay. I'll do it again.
Yes.
That fragrance took us 4 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing. I can't wait to get.
Can I ask you about Brooklyn, because I spent a lot of time in Brooklyn, even though I'm from London and traveled around. But Brooklyn was one place where I ended up spending because my ex-husband was from New York.
Okay.
So what I want to know is, what's the inspiration behind Brooklyn?
The inspiration is...
What does it smell like in your world?
It's always a surprise to people because everyone assumes it's going to be something really quite dirty and oily, like Williamsburg. Kind of thing. And actually, it's really fresh and airy. And I'm going to say like citrus, very fizzy, very fizzy. So I really had the idea of Park Slope. And that's where my friends live, so that's where I kind of go, and almost like a picnic in the park and cocktails with friends. So I think sometimes Brooklyn surprises people. They say, oh, this is the one that really doesn't smell very urban. And And I'm always at pains to say, just because my fragrances are inspired by cities, doesn't mean they all smell of sort of hot concrete, gasoline smells. Because I think, as we're all probably discovering at the moment, even in big cities like London, if you look, there's nature everywhere.
There is.
There's flowers, there's the blossom. You just have to look for it.
Indeed.
Exactly. So I can go into Fortnum's Masons and when it opens and try your whole collection. Basically, that's the best place. Do you think that is showcasing your brand? Or?
Yeah, they're brilliant to see in London. Yeah, let's hope they reopen soon.
I love Fortnum's and Masons anyway. Just the feeling, the buzz of service when you walk in, and it's magical for me. I totally.
Good. That's good to hear. I think the word service, I just pick up on that. I think the staff in there are really great. Yeah. It's one of the reasons I'm really happy to be with them. You know, sometimes when you do sort of shopping in, let's say, bigger department stores, I just don't feel, it's not the staff's fault, but they don't have the knowledge. You know, they're on, I don't know, skincare one day, they're doing a new fragrance launch the next day, and in Fortnum & Mason you feel there's this longevity of people in perfumery that really know about perfume, and that's really great, I think, an expertise.
Thank you.
And your collection is in the small room with Roger Dove and all the fancy stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So you come up the stairs and you turn left, and we're around the corner. Yeah.
Are you in any other place other than Fortnum & Mason?
Yeah, so I sell, some of you may know Roulier White in Dulwich, which is an independent store on East Dulwich. And that's been great. They've been a brilliant supporter, brilliant customer for us. So if you're in that part of London, sort of southeast London, that's a great place to find us as well. Yeah.
The shop was the first place I tried your perfume.
Okay. Yeah.
It's quite far for me, but relatively, because in London, wherever you go, you spend more than an hour.
Yeah.
And well, it's an hour and 10 from where I live.
Yeah.
Well, it just feels like very far, but then
Olga, it almost feels like we need something like that in North London. You know?
And there is a lovely, lovely space here on rent, and I'm walking near it every time I go shopping, just looking at it and thinking, God, we do need more retailers. We do need more retailers.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm really keen. I'd love, it's been a thought of mine the last few years, whether we could all get together as a sort of little independent artisan perfumers guild and have some sort of space together, like a cooperative.
It can be
would be amazing.
Yeah, and I'd love to do that. So I think,
good idea.
Wait till we get this special moment over, and then let's see if we can make it happen. Because so many of us are underserved. I mean, I think of, you know, Lucy, for example.
Yeah.
You know, Francesca Bianchi's perfume.
Oh, have you tried the new one?
I haven't. No. I've seen her post about them, but I've not smelt them.
Yeah, the new 3 new fragrances. They're completely non-everything, cruelty-free,
natural,
vegan, no alcohol, no oil, no water.
Yeah.
Water, no oil, no alcohol. I don't know. It's kind of a miracle.
Yeah, I'm going to have to ask exactly technically how she's done this.
Hang on, Olga. Did you say no water, no alcohol, nothing?
If I'm not mistaken, I need to read it somewhere, because I think she said yes, but because some perfumes are water-based.
Yeah, I mean, often people will add a percentage of water.
Yes. Let me just see the ingredients. What's there? I'm not sure, because I'm completely blind. So and but they're yummy. They're really, really, really yummy.
So, you know, people like her, I feel like need more exposure as well.
I know, yeah.
You know, but like I was saying, it's so difficult for us small brands.
It is, because Lucy was before in Jovoy, but obviously she's left. So I think now the only place you would find our fragrances would be on our website. So that's quite a shame, because it would be nice to see these small fragrances, you know, fragrance houses when you've gone out sampling stuff. It would be nice to see they are there as well, so that people can get an opportunity to sample them and make their minds up. Because in as much as people have, it's a good idea to have sample sets, people buy stuff online, etc. It is also very nice that you can go out and sample stuff without having to pay for them.
Yeah.
And especially depending on where you are, there is always the issue of postage. Like, I love these fragrances from Russian Adam, and I want to buy one. I want just the one, because I've had samples, they're really nice. But for him to ship it to me, I have to pay $45 extra just for postage. And I'm like, I can add £10 on that and get something else. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's having to have that balance. Like, it would be nice if these fragrances were available here, where we could go and try them and just buy them at that.
Yeah, and I think we probably, all of us, would love a sort of like a community space where perfume lovers can come and meet each other, because
absolutely,
one of the very addictive sides why I think I've stayed in perfume for so long is it's a very human business, isn't it?
It is, yes.
We meet face to face, we smell together. Smelling is a group activity, you know. It's better together with other people.
Definitely, it's always nice to go with a friend who loves perfumes like you and smell stuff. So, and I
mean,
love
one of the things I'm really missing, it sounds bizarre maybe, but you know, I'm working on these new things and I'm only smelling them on my own skin. Whereas normally, you know, I'll see other people and I'll spray trial mods on them, and I can smell them on different people's skin at different times.
Now
I'm just working with my own skin. So that's not very good. I don't like, you know, I don't really work on paper. I really work on skin.
It's not the same though, is it? Smelling on paper and no, for me, I always have to try on my skin, because it you find it would be maybe totally different.
Yeah.
So it's always best on skin.
Yeah, I think as well for a style of perfumery like Gallivant, where, you know, there's a lot of vibration, there's a lot of natural materials, there's a lot of evolution over wearing it.
Yeah.
I can't just smell it on a scent strip and really evaluate it. So I'm really missing skin of testers.
I'm missing to go testing.
Yeah.
We said with Olga, where is the first place we are going to smell when all this is over? I can't wait to go out. I didn't even realize how much I took certain things for granted, you know, and now it's oh my goodness me, I can't just leave the house and go to have ice cream outside. I just can't walk out and do the normal things that I took for granted. And now I feel I'm missing doing that. So hopefully all this will be over very soon and we can carry on.
Yeah.
Carry on.
Margarita. Hello, Margarita.
Hello.
English.
Yeah. I couldn't join you in earlier. Sorry. Yeah.
You're more than welcome to join us today, right now. And so we've got here Anjum, and we've got Nick. Nick Stewart is a perfumer, and he, for example, you could try his fragrances in Fortnum & Mason.
Yeah.
And well, I think yes, in the same. Do you remember Fortnum & Mason has a special space where Jardave is? Yes, so not in the common room, but in a smaller room. Looks like more private. So Nick has his perfumes right there. So when everything is finished, you can try all his collection there. And we've spoken about his London, which is very rosy and earthy at the same time.
Yeah. Big sort of suede leather accord.
Yes. And we spoke about his Istanbul, which is oriental but not heavy sweet. It's really, really, it's suitable for.
It's called Istanbul. The perfume called it.
All of my fragrances are named after the cities that they're in.
Oh.
Yes, and we spoke about his perfumes. So we spoke about the size of the bottles, which are 30 ml, and because they should be suitable for travel.
Exactly.
And even smaller size, something like this, 10 ml, and it is oil. It is oil, and we decided that this is for a very intimate evening. Somebody who will be allowed to smell it from your skin. So this is it, and here we are. Yes, but Nick, I enjoyed very much what you posted through the last 2 weeks in support of independent perfumers in Great Britain, Canada and USA, and there was another one.
Europe, mainland Europe.
Yeah, Europe. You did Europe, exactly. So I think you've got this talent to unite people.
I don't know.
Fragrances are already, you do, Nick.
Yes.
We are already here because of fragrances.
We will support you. We will support you, but there can be only one leader, the one who started and who kicks the business. And the brilliant idea of a pop-up shop, so you can try how it works for all the independent perfumers,
Yeah.
Remember, sorry, carry on. Olga, remember we spoke about this last time we were at Jovoy with Lucy. Remember when we said maybe to have something in London, maybe on a weekend, and a few brands to come together. So it would be nice if this can happen.
Absolutely.
It would be
I'm going to try and make it happen, believe me.
Yeah.
By the way, Margarita reminded me, her presence reminded me to say that Nick sells in Moscow.
Oh.
Yes, we launched in Moscow, in Russia, in December with Kosmoteka in their stores.
Only in Moscow, or it's somewhere else?
So there's Moscow, St. Petersburg, obviously, Perm, Samara, Irkutsk. Where else? I think that's it. I think Moscow, St. Petersburg, Irkutsk, maybe Yekaterinburg as well. Yeah. Margarita, where are you? Are you in?
I'm in London. I'm in London.
Okay.
Yes.
Margarita,
I live in London. Yeah.
Okay.
Margarita is a poet.
Ah, okay.
And she's a writer and a poet, and she is a perfume lover, and she was the one who came twice to our perfume walks.
Ah, okay.
She came first time by herself, I suppose, or with a friend, but the second time she brought the entire group of people.
Yes, that was the loveliest party, one of the loveliest perfume parties we had. Everyone was just amazed. Yes.
Yeah, so
about having another one. If it were not for the quarantine, we would have done it in March 20th, I think, 20th or 25th of March. We were planning, yeah. And when the quarantine is over, the very first opportunity to have a perfume party, perfume kind of event.
We all need to party.
Not less than 7 of us, 7, 8 of us, yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So it's lovely to know about. So it's lovely to see the direct clients of yours right now. And
Yeah.
by the way, when are you doing Moscow? When are you adding Moscow to your collection?
I haven't been to Russia since I think 2006. So a long time ago, really. And Olga knows a little bit about me, that when I was a child, I could speak quite good Russian, but now, nichivo, really, nothing left. Don't put me on the spot. So I was very keen to go back this year, but obviously now those plans are cancelled. But yeah, I mean, I hear Moscow has improved so much in the last decade, more parks, more walkways.
Yeah.
I remember the last time I was there, the traffic was awful.
I think it's still awful.
Is it still bad? Okay.
Yeah, it is.
Didn't the mayor make a lot of really good projects to improve the urban living? More nature walks, more green space?
Well, but the problem is the way of living. People who can afford the car think that the tube is for losers.
Yeah.
So if you are a respectable person, you need to use your car, even for one stop of the tube.
Yeah.
So only
There's a few of those in London too, right? I think.
Well, I think bus is for losers in London. Tube is not. It's too expensive. But yeah, so the bus and then the tube and then the car. Good. Yeah, sure. But I suppose when so for let's imagine there's perfume, Moscow, a lot of traffic. So you would need some ingredient, some nasty ingredient for it.
Okay.
Maybe like
civet
or something.
But I don't like working with nasty ingredients. So.
Maybe some civet.
What's the nastiest you've worked with?
That's a tough question, because remember, it's all about the composition as well. I mean, I think you know that I don't really work with oud. I'm probably one of the very few brands now that doesn't have an oud perfume or an oud collection, because I find my own feeling is I love orris butter, for example. It's really one of the materials I love to a smell, and in a way I think it's a sort of polar opposite. The iris is a very subtle, elegant smell to me.
I love iris.
And then the oud thing.
Surely, Nick, you must love Dear Musk.
I love musk and I love animalic notes, but I think sometimes when I smell oud, it's too bad to me. And it's too noisy, it's too big. So I'm a bit shy. I shy away from those really big smells. And also such a big trend. Sometimes people ask me, why don't you have an oud? And I sort of feel like, God, there's so many ouds on the market. What am I going to add? You know?
I think now it's sort of a trend. Now you find everyone has got an oud in their collection. All the big brands. Yeah. Everyone is doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm missing a trick, but it's not my first love. Let's put it that way. Yeah.
The thing is, because I feel like it's a trend, and the question is, will it last? How long is it gonna be there for? You know what I mean?
My own feeling is, I feel at Accents every year, there's always a group of us, or a group of perfume lovers that say it, always without failure every year, say oud is over, no more oud. And it's not true. I think really oud is now a category on its own. I think it's really not going away. I mean, there are many that are really well done and are really elegant and beautiful. So I think it's slightly taken people's noses in a different direction. Um,
I have to leave you. Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Hi.
Thank you.
But I just have to leave. Yeah. Yeah, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Margarita.
What do you think about Chypre? Because they were speaking a year ago. They were speaking about the return of Chypre.
Did it ever go away? I don't think it did. I mean, I think there are maybe more modern takes on it. Like all of these things, I think we're always an industry that's evolving, and people's creativity is limitless. So I think we have to reinterpret and recontextualize some of these things from the past. It's like when someone says to me, Istanbul is a really interesting sort of Oriental because it's kind of got an Oriental structure, but there's bits of it missing or bits that have changed. And I'm very conscious of, perfumery from the past, the classics. And I'm very respectful of all of those things that have been done. But it's not to say that I don't want to revisit it and maybe do my own little twist on it. Yeah.
Anjam, I'm spraying it on you. Well, I wanted to speak about Chypre because I think the youngest Chypre I know is Signature by Ruth Mastenberg.
Yeah.
And it actually reminds me a little bit of Yves Saint Laurent's champagne that then was renamed into Ivresse.
Yeah, Ivresse. That's right.
So I suppose because of the Chypre.
Yeah.
So, but I hadn't heard anybody else who launched Chypre after that.
I think, sorry.
Mia, you go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I think Lancome launched a Chypre. I think it was last year, the Idol.
Is it
That is the Chypre, yes. That is the Chypre. I had some samples before. I have some samples somewhere. But my samples are a bit of a mess. But yeah, I have a sample of it. But obviously it's Lancome. It's nothing extraordinary, like wow. It's okay.
Oh, Lancome people are not listening to us.
It's not anything groundbreaking or trendsetter or it's one of those you smell it, you can easily forget about it, like it didn't really exist. You probably remember it more for the bottle than anything, to be honest. So
exactly. The bottle is awesome. The bottle is extraordinary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mia, can I just say I love that word memorable. I mean, a group of students asked me last year, when I'm working on a perfume, when I'm evaluating a perfume, how do you do it? And I sort of said, well, listen, I don't think there are really very strict rules, particularly. Let the nose and the imagination talk. But I think for me, one of the criteria when I'm working is, do I think it's memorable? Do I think the perfumes I put out are memorable? And I really hope they are, because first of all, they come from memories and my imagination of these places. When I smell them, I want to be transported away from where I am now. But I hope they're going to be memorable for other people in the future as well.
Yeah.
I love the idea that you have a memory with a perfume. That gives it a real life.
For me, that's what makes it special. If I can remember when I've bought it, where I've worn it, how I was feeling at the time, maybe even what I was wearing, how was I feeling? I love those fragrances, but if I'm wearing a fragrance, I can't remember it next week, then
yeah, it's kind of missing something, or maybe it's just a perfume that you don't connect with, because that's possible. I mean, it's quite hard sometimes between our little community, sometimes when people really love a fragrance and they tell you about it with such passion and such emotion,
Yeah.
And it's not really a perfume that I personally feel a connection to. So I can appreciate it sort of intellectually, but I don't feel the emotion that you might feel.
Absolutely. I mean, even my husband, he'll love a fragrance, and I'm like, it's nice. Or I will love a fragrance, and he's like, it's okay. It's not for me. So I do get it. We can't love the same things, honestly. We can't. Not everything anyway. We can't love everything, and we all can't love the same things. So
no, that's for the good, I think. That's human beings. We're
absolutely. Yeah.
Listen, I don't get insulted when someone says to me, oh, I really love, Los Angeles, but I really didn't like Tokyo. I don't really get upset because I never expected that everyone would love everything that I do. I mean, you can't please everybody, I think is quite true. Of course, it's upsetting when someone says, this is a bad perfume. I don't just mean to me, I mean to anyone in the industry. Because on the whole, people are trying to do good work.
I know.
When someone says this is a bad perfume, that's quite harsh, I think.
I know. I've seen someone talk about a fragrance, and this is from a small house, and they've said, the thing is, I didn't take it personal, but I kind of felt almost not offended, but I thought, is it a dig or what? I've just done a review on this fragrance, which I quite liked. And then someone said, oh, that perfume smells witchy like SHIT. And I'm thinking, and honestly, I was taken aback. And she's messaged me telling me, how can you like that? It smells so bad. It's richly. And Richard, it smells like a toilet. And I'm thinking, no, you're just being horrible now.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, that is unfair. Someone took time to make this, and I don't get what you're talking about. But I don't know. Whilst I respect everyone can like different things, that's fair enough. But not to the point where you can go on and say so much. And I feel like if you don't really have anything nice to say, or that's how you feel, maybe some opinions, just don't voice them, because it's not helping anyone. It's a small person trying to, do something for themselves, and then you're going to come out and put this kind of information, misleading information, because whilst you may feel that, the next person may not. But because they haven't had the chance, they will be put off to having that chance to actually try it because you've said this.
Yeah, and I think it's a bit like these things like Yelp and TripAdvisor.
Yeah, no.
I'm so sorry for people in those sort of restaurant hospitality businesses. Like, one bad review.
Exactly. Exactly. But this is why I always say, and even when I've done a review, I always say this, don't take my word for it. Always sample for yourself, because it may be different for you. But I'm not going to say, oh, I said it's amazing, go with that. No. Make your mind up. Try things for yourself.
Yeah.
But anyway, if I think a fragrance I don't like, I would rather just not review it, because I'm not out here to badmouth anyone or, I just feel it's so unfair, because I try to put myself in those shoes. Suppose it was my creation that someone went and said, how would I feel,
Yeah.
And, yeah.
It is personal. I've worked on these things for a long time. I've put my heart and my soul into them.
Exactly.
And I don't expect everybody to be full of praise. It's not realistic. But it's tough sometimes when people say to you, oh no, I really hated that one. Because I want to know why. Okay, what didn't you like about it?
I always have to remind people, don't say hate. Hate is a very strong word.
Yeah.
Choose something else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like Amsterdam in my collection is, I don't think it's a fragrance that people really love instantly. It's quite complicated.
Before I even smell Amsterdam, is it what I'm expecting? Maybe some hemp or...
Not at all. Not at all.
No, maybe... Is it what I'm expecting?
There's a word
green.
Dutch.
I'm
Gezellig.
gonna spray it now.
Yeah, I do. I don't have it here actually.
Oh,
So very cozy. So there's a word in Dutch which is gezellig,
yeah.
means coziness, like sort of hygge in Danish. So it's very spicy, but it's one of those things that you'll smell it, Mia, and you'll never be able to say to me, "Oh my God, it's the note breakdown is roughly like this." People find it very mysterious.
This is why it's taking me a while to tell you that I smell this, because I'm trying to figure out. I'm like, what is that?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm like, I don't recognize this.
Yeah. It's even hard to classify it.
I don't.
Yeah.
I have a fragrance I want to talk about. I don't know where to begin because I couldn't tell you. And every time I try it, every single time it's smelling different.
Yeah.
Every single time.
So Amsterdam is one of those. It's very
Hints of sweetness to it.
yeah, it's quite ambery. There's a lot of saffron.
Yeah.
A little bit of rose.
It's
like
like
a
a dark,
fantasy.
it's like a dark rose. Yeah, like a dark rose saffron.
Yeah.
Very
It's like
nice.
a fantasy flower shop in a way.
Oh, can you imagine tulips in different colors?
Yeah.
Wow, amazing.
It's kind of the fragrance that the critics love and say to me it's really masterful composition.
Yeah.
The customers, it takes a lot of time to get used to it. And it's funny because I have a customer who really didn't like it at the start, and now she loves it and she keeps buying bottles. And I'm like, how much of this stuff are you wearing?
Wow.
Don't like go overboard and wear it every day, because I don't think you should wear the same perfume every day.
No, if you can, why not? I've done that before back in the day where I would only have maybe 1 or 2 fragrances, and it was that I wore the same fragrance every day.
The problem there, Mia, is that you go nose blind very quickly. So
Oh.
you put it on, you don't smell it, you put more on.
Yeah.
The nose.
Yeah, but then it was because I just didn't have many.
Okay.
I didn't have options. I was Nick. I was born in Africa, and in my country, all the fragrances were behind the counter.
Yeah.
Maybe even with a glass behind the glass, and you couldn't go in the shop and smell anything.
Yeah.
If you went in, you asked for a fragrance and you bought it.
Yeah.
You didn't try it.
Yeah.
So when I came here, when I was a teenager, I came here because I always used to ask everyone, if you want to give me a present for my birthday, instead of buying me a dress, you could just give me money, I'll buy a fragrance. And I was always saving all my weekend money until I have enough to buy a bottle.
Yeah.
So when I came here and then I went to Boots and they had all these fragrances I could try, oh my gosh, it was like heaven. And every single day I went to college, on lunchtime I would go in Boots and just try fragrances. It was quite fascinating for me. I was like, oh my gosh, I can smell anything. I can even spray.
Candy store.
I know, it was like heaven. And I remember talking to my mom, and so she asked me, what was the most interesting thing that I've found? I was like, the shops, they have fragrances you can spray. And she said to me, she was quite taken aback because she was thinking that maybe I was going to tell her about friends I've met or things that, that's happened. And instead I was telling about these fragrances. I was fascinated. I used to go like every single day just to smell fragrances.
Good exercise for the nose.
Yeah.
The best way.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I do try to give myself tests for the nose because I'm trying to train my nose. So I try to sample. I make it a must every day to smell different things.
Yeah, that's
just that I'm training my nose.
Yeah.
So
have you all come across a friend of mine, Emmanuelle? She runs Experimental Perfume Club.
Emmanuelle, where is she?
I've seen one of her mini. She trains as well, doesn't she?
Yeah, she does workshops, and she's doing. She used to have a little studio in London Fields in Hackney.
It's East London, right?
Yeah, that's shut now, so she's trying to go online.
I've seen some of her online videos and classes, and she's very articulate and clear.
Yeah, I'm biased.
So she's your friend, is she?
She's a friend.
Oh, that's lovely. Yeah.
And we've known each other a good long time. But I think she's great.
Yeah.
She's trying to invite people into perfumery.
Yes.
I would love that. I would love to. I think for me,
it's not like we should hide it. It's like it should be open.
It would be nice to just open up a lab. Please come along.
Well, that's what her business is. She has a lab.
Yeah.
And she obviously now it's shut. It can't be open because of COVID.
I was going to go to one like make your own perfume workshop in Tunbridge Wells, which is sort of local, not local, but like nearby where I live.
Yeah. And
obviously I can't now. So
yeah,
here we are. And I've always been looking forward to go to Stella's class because she does the classes as well. And last year I wanted to really go, but I couldn't because it clashed so much with everything I had going on. And I thought, I'm going to go this time. And guess what? Yeah, we are again.
Yeah.
So
but I think check out EPC. That's her business. Perfume Club.
No.
She's doing more.
I think maybe I've seen her. I think I've seen her. I'm not sure because I've seen quite a few come up.
I think she does a free, like a 10-minute kind of taster session, which is also worth looking at. Then you get an idea of, her teaching style and like it. I think you can go on the website and register. And I always follow up all the newsletters. It's always interesting to see. Yeah,
I think she's got a
whole world, really, isn't it?
No, it is. It's very.
Like I said, I've only been in here 3 years, so you can imagine how much information I want to absorb.
Tell us how. Forgive me, I don't know. How are you involved in the industry?
So about 3 years ago, I was always in. Well, how do I start? So I used to be a general manager of a supplement company.
Okay.
Owned by a Swiss company, and I did that for 3 years, and it was amazing. I learned, spoke to scientists, and always loved consumer goods.
Yeah.
Supplementation, that was really important, and formulas. So that I did that for some time, and then it got to a point where I felt I had to just leave because I was working very closely with the CEO. Yeah. And I wasn't finding myself becoming productive, and I was losing my way.
Yeah.
So I left, and then ended up. I knew one of my friends who was Iranian. He introduced me to his best friend from school, who wanted someone in London to represent the company and go out there and be the brand consultant for the company. Yeah. And so it just came up like that 3 years ago. So the company is called Reach International.
Okay.
They've been around over 20 years. The head office is in Dubai, in Jebel Ali Free Zone.
Yeah.
He's an amazing boss. Learnt so much, so giving, and we work with a lot of brands, including Hermès, Cartier, Amouage, Bulgari. However, we are working a lot more with niche fragrances as well. Talking to Mimo and Puig, as you said, Coty, and all the well-known kind of companies.
To take those brands into Iran.
Not just Iran. So our markets this is where it gets really fun. So our markets is along the Silk Road, the CIS countries.
Okay.
So you got Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, Tajikistan, all their former USSR countries.
Yeah.
And that's where the intrigue started for me, because just to be able to familiarize myself with these markets.
Yeah.
That's how my journey started. And then I started off working first with Cartier, because we're distributors for Turkmenistan.
Okay.
The sole distributors for. So that's where I started. So got to understand Cartier. That was my first debut. That was the first fragrance that I had to work with, in the sense of training and understanding the brand, and so that was a nice start, I think. And it's just grown from there, and work more now with Hermes, more on the training side, training the products and learning about the products and the launches. So my role is quite broad, and because I'm in London, mostly traditionally all the brands were in Paris, and it just makes it easy. But now everyone's going to Dubai, so I'm finding it a bit getting jet lagged all the time, going back and forth. But so yeah, this is kind of the base of what I do, and I specifically, he gave me a lot of freedom, even though he does other consumer goods, and I kind of naturally went towards fragrance.
Yeah.
And I fell in love with the whole concept and the way these maisons work, the years and years of tradition and, the heritage. And that's where I really get excited. I think that's my exciting point. Yeah. So
special industry.
Yeah, exactly. And then I get to help and advise on sourcing certain brands. Obviously, I have a lot of people that I have to go through because it's a very commercial environment, as you can imagine. Yeah. But I can always put my 2 cents in. They do listen. Yeah, and so yeah, that's where I'm coming from, and hence why I show a lot of interest in most.
It's funny because I did a journey across Central Asia. Relatively recently.
Yeah.
Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan.
Amazing.
Love that part of the world.
I need to recommend a book about the Silk Road, which is amazing. I know it's nothing to do with off topic now, but
yes, I have it.
You have it, Peter. Yeah.
Obviously, I have.
Show me again.
Peter Frankopan.
Yeah, and I've got the children version as well now.
Oh wow!
Even though it's quite comprehensive, because he's quite a good. I think he got voted one of the best minds of Britain in the 100. He came in the 100.
Yeah, he's very respected.
Yeah, so yeah.
Good book.
So for me, I mean, that's the goal, to explore more into that. But there's many goals, but that's just one of many. I wanted to ask you a question about exclusives. Like you're saying people are interested. Have you ever done any special exclusives for certain people who have requested it? Has it been that journey?
For Gallivant, not really. Often when I sort of launch somewhere, they'll say to me, can you now do a Montreal fragrance or a Moscow or wherever? So I sort of say, well, listen, I will add it to my list.
Yeah.
For other companies, yes, we did sort of exclusives for department stores, typically. Sometimes it was a bit sad for me on the creative side rather than the commercial side, because I would think, okay, we've spent a lot of time working on this, and now it's limited to one store in the world. It almost feels a bit selfish in a way. I understand it from the retailer's perspective. I think it's quite frustrating for customers globally when they read, okay, there's this amazing new perfume, but it's only available in one postcode of one city. It's a little bit ungenerous in a way, I think.
So you would never do like an exclusive product for a store? I know we spoke about like Mason. They said to you, okay, this particular bottle is only going to be for us. I mean, that's hard, isn't it, to deal with? Because you've got
I mean, it's hard as well.
It's
hard as well in terms of even just the volumes. I mean,
yeah, that's right.
We're a small batch producer, but I'm not into the idea of doing one-off bottles.
Yeah.
Again, I find it a bit sort of ungenerous. I know people love the idea of super premium exclusivity, but it's not really my ethos, to be honest.
All right. Now I thought I'd ask the question because I think I was speaking to. Have you heard of Ormond Jane?
Yeah.
And she was she had a product once called Amber Royale. Well, it wasn't Amber Royale, but she made it specifically for a princess.
Okay.
And then the princess eventually got bored with this formula that she specifically created for her. So, but it was quite nice. I know. And then she said, "Make me another one." And then apparently, Linda said to her, "Look, can I use this?"
Okay.
So after going through, is it IFRA? Yeah, and eventually she had to modify it, but then it became available on the market.
Okay.
And I think that stuck in my head from yesterday, hence why I thought, let me ask you if there's anything that's happened like that to you, you know.
I mean, never say never. I think if the context was right, then yes, I'd entertain it.
Yeah.
Where I am today, not really. Yeah.
Good.
I mean, I don't tend to work with that many department stores. I tend to work more with sort of boutiques and specialty stores. They're less into this idea of we've got to have our exclusive sort of lines of things.
Thank you. Sorry, I'm hogging all the airtime here. Sorry, girls. I'll unmute myself.
Thank you for asking all these questions, because I would never, I'm not working in perfumery, so I would never come up with them. So thank you, Anjum, a lot. And
not yet.
Yeah, I'll spray one more Istanbul on you.
Yeah.
You know what? Istanbul is my favorite city, so you know, I have a lot of love for Turkey. I have a place there which I bought 10 years ago. Fell in love with the place and love it totally. Yeah.
Istanbul, I can't remember, sorry, who asked earlier which my best sellers. So Los Angeles has done really, really well. Istanbul has always been at the top. People seem to really love this perfume.
Yeah, I can see why. It's lovely.
Yeah.
I keep going back to it because it's so nice. I love it.
It's a very beautiful composition with beautiful materials. Yeah.
I was going to be going back to Turkey next month, but obviously I think that's not going to happen. So
okay, so you've got the perfume for the armchair travel in the meantime.
Absolutely, yes. I'm on holiday now. Look at that. I'm going to Amsterdam. I'll be off to Los Angeles, Tel Aviv,
Brooklyn, and Tokyo.
Yeah, Tokyo. Oh my gosh, the Far East.
What do you think of Amsterdam? Now it's
I love it. I love it. It's quite fresh.
You're a fresh note, yeah.
Quite fresh. It's fresh and warm at the same time, if that makes sense. Fresh and warm at the same time.
So, Nick, do you ship at the moment?
Yes. I'm still. I go to my studio most days because I can cycle.
Yeah.
And so I'm still working. I'm still sort of shipping products. Yeah.
Where are you based, Nick?
So I live in Islington in North London.
Nice.
I have a little studio in Haggerston, which is sort of Hackney.
All right. Okay.
On the Regent's Canal.
Nice.
So yeah, I'm very lucky that way. I don't have a big commute.
I see.
Jump on my bike every morning and go over.
Oh wow!
It would be nice to see the studio. Is it possible at all when everything finishes?
Yeah, I mean, I'm in a sublet. I don't have like my own dedicated space. I share with some architects.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's kind of nice because, first of all, they're almost like, in the best possible way, I mean, non-experts about perfume. So it's really good to test fragrances on people
on them, yeah.
I agree, yeah.
Because they don't get into, sometimes with perfume lovers, naturally all of us get into quite quickly what the notes are, what other references come up. Whereas for them, they don't have that. So they kind of give you more spontaneous reactions. And that's good.
I can see the reaction of my husband on his face when he does like or or nope. 3 reactions.
No poker face.
No, not at all.
You know, Nick, when you say that, it just kind of reminds me of one thing I was going to add. You know, when you say about perfume lovers, nowadays it's almost like any creator that comes out with a fragrance using certain notes, people will automatically judge them. Oh no, you are taking this inspiration. Oh no, you are copying this one. And I find that so unfair. I'm thinking, did that brand actually patent that fruit, or did they patent it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I find it that I don't know how you feel about that as a creator.
I think just for a little bit of a backstory. So I worked with a company in Grasse for my oils called Parfum, and it was founded by Edmund Runitsker, who's, you'll know, a very legendary name in the perfume world. Created things like the original Eau Sauvage, Diarella, Diarissimo, Rochas, Femme. And his sort of philosophy is very much not about ingredients lists. So the perfumers who work with Parfum, there's almost, perfume is a harmony and a composition. It's not just a list of notes. So sometimes we don't like to talk too much about head notes of this, heart notes of this, base notes of that. It's a bit reductive because, of course, when you hear the notes, you don't know the percentages. So you're kind of learning something, but not everything. So I could say the note breakdown of London, for example, is this rose leather accord. And then Jean-Claude Helena did a rose leather fragrance recently for Frederic Malle. And it's made in the same place as my perfumes. So lots of people understandably said, oh, do they smell the same? And no, they don't smell the same really at all. But obviously, if you look at the notes, you might think, oh, they're similar perfumes. So I think sometimes the notes don't give you really what you need to know.
No, not always.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you mean. I've had fragrances where I've looked and
according to Macmillan Dictionary, used for telling.
I don't know. See, someone is spying on me. I wasn't talking to you.
It's like, Mia, it's like in the Istanbul perfume, we got this amber accord. And as you know, there's no amber note. It's a constitution, it's a reconstitution, a mix of notes. Vanilla, of course, is present in an amber sort of oriental. But Corinne created that amber accord for me. We don't pick one off the shelf and say, oh, that's amber. The perfumer's job, Corinne's job, is to create an amber accord. So even things like amber, what does it really mean to people? I don't know if people always understand what these notes mean.
But then there is also sometimes I find the misunderstanding of the notes and the ingredients. People sometimes are thinking they're the same things.
Yeah.
The notes and the ingredients.
Yeah.
So I think again there is that. So.
And also, in terms of sort of marketing and communication, if I think of Los Angeles, if I talk about certain materials in perfume, the actual ingredients list, the formula, is very long. So
of course, you can,
can't say every single thing that's in it. We'd be here all afternoon. So
I saw someone talking about a fragrance the other day, and they said they had 192 listed ingredients.
Yeah.
So that just gives you an idea. I'm very aware that lots of brands, lots of houses, they don't list all the ingredients because there are sometimes you smell something, you immediately know there is this, but it's not listed.
Yeah.
And as well, sometimes there are things in there that you can't even smell because they've been mixed with other things and they've created a totally different smell to what you would have otherwise thought if it was listed.
Yeah.
Makes sense. So, yeah.
One of the things I think I like about our perfumes is they're very well macerated.
They are.
And the long maceration, which is when we mix the oils with the alcohol, I do 4 weeks maceration, which is long. It blends things to the point where you shouldn't be able to pick out the building blocks.
That's nice as well, because you don't want to, and sometimes this is what I do when I sample fragrances. After the time, I'll spray it before looking up what it is.
Yeah.
And then I'll write things down and then go back and look it up to see if I got anything right or wrong.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's a good test for the nose. Yeah.
Oh, Olga, I'm loving the purple.
I think I love it too.
I can see.
Yeah. And so we've got 9 minutes left. And,
is that it? Is that it? Really?
Hours. Yes, it's already
Wow.
hours. It's amazing. It's
I
amazing.
know.
And well, I just wanted to thank you for popping in.
Oh.
Yeah, virtual pop-in.
Yes, thank you. And Nick, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your smile and for your
thank you.
For all this lovely collection. La, la, la.
Yeah. Little babies.
Oh, you are showing off.
Yeah.
I'm showing off.
You want to,
this
it's
is
okay. Have your moment. You want to be next week.
Yes. Well, and I think we tested this this format and it works pretty well.
Yes, even for people like me who are useless at technology.
And
I know.
Yes, you won the top.
Oh.
Absolutely. So thank you, Anja. Thank you very much.
Guys, nice listening to you guys.
It was very interesting to know about your experience in the industry, and well, I think everybody who joined for the latest trends for spring were a little bit disappointed because we talked shop all for 2 hours, but
well,
we can do it next time. We can do it next time. Think about spring trends and more perfumes and well, but thank you very much, Nick, because
But Olga, can I just say one final thing? I think the spring trends, you make your minds up. You know, I think the best thing is to try some perfumes on your skin, and does it suit the mood that we're in this spring? That's my best advice.
For me, it's London by Gallivant. Absolutely fresh and a little bit dirty.
Ooh, Olga.
Well,
that Amsterdam is really nice. It's coming so alive on my skin. Wow.
It's special, isn't it? Yeah.
It is really nice.
Yeah.
I was just looking on your website as we were talking. I almost clicked, then I realized I need to fill in all this address and stuff, so I'll do it later.
Is it possible to have some samples sent over, Nick?
Yeah, I mean, I sell a sample set on my website. I'm doing a special offer.
Have a look. Yeah.
At the moment with free shipping.
Perfect.
What I do is I give you a code for the £25 off afterwards.
On the web. That's very generous of you. Yeah.
It is.
Okay. Yeah, and I repeat, Nick still ships all the fragrances, and I read on Jovoy's website that they started shipping as well. And I think like Lucy Ackhurst from La Maison Hedonique ships, and
Sarah Becker
and Sarah McCartney from 4160 Tuesdays ships. So we can support local producers and stay fragrant through the quarantine.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We are in this together. We are nearly there. I believe we are halfway through. So
yeah,
we will meet, friends. We shall meet.
Thank you all, and see you. Stay fragrant.
Thank you.
Stay fragrant, everyone. Bye.
See you outside.
See you later. Bye-bye.